open things
Can
open.
I roll portents and then do it to see if maybe I get a 20 on my portents?
Sure.
I mean, you start your day doing that, right? You should.
Mm-hmm. You always
Yeah,
have
but
one.
it gets a little nebulous when we're doing.
Oh yeah, but
time
Yeah.
skips.
do it. At the very
I
least,
could
it
give
is
myself
the
a
next
nat 1.
Yay!
That's my faction.
14's pretty good, and I could add 9 to it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I got 23 on my faction roll.
Okay. Is it...
I would have thought Niv Mizzet is like Elizabeth Warren. He has a plan for that.
Yes. There is a definite sense that people higher up than you are pretty chill about what has happened. Now, like, we didn't know it was going to happen now, but you know.
Elizabeth Warren.
we kind of had a contingency in place should this ever happen. Is quite what's the word? They're quite careful in grooming the ties that they have to the other guild.
Oh, okay.
Like making sure that they don't make any additional enemies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They've been staying clear of Simic, mainly because like Simic and Izzet are two sides of the same coin, and they tend not to get along very well. So like avoidance is like the best way of not starting shit with Simic right now. But they are like keeping up appearances, like, oh yeah, we're still gonna fix the shit, and
Right.
there have been like cases of like Golgari being like, yeah, so the Guildpact is dead now, so you can't cross through our territory. And they're like, oh, you want that steam pipe to blow up right under your Golgari village? Because, like, cool, bro. Don't want to infringe upon your Golgariness, but, like, that steam pipe will blow at some point if we don't get to do maintenance on it. So there have been some, like, forays, but it's very careful in, like, no goblins go on anything that has to do with any of the other guilds.
Okay, yeah.
We need a minimum of explosions right now. City's a powder keg, and one spark can ignite.
That's good, though, that they're not, like, just holding up in Nivik. That they're still, like, just trying to go about business as usual for as long as they can.
Mm-hmm. But there is definitely an uptick in people in Nivik, and special projects.
Mm.
As for the Celestia, District 3 has closed its gate.
None of your silly violence would reach our peaceful organization. Go away.
Well, there goes one
Yeah.
more couch I can sleep on.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's not like they've literally closed their gates, but figuratively they have. Like, they're denying Boros patrols access, Zorius patrols. They're tightening rank. They're like, until this situation has been sorted, Celestia will deal with Celestia.
Yeah,
We don't need anyone else's help.
Yeah, that's not even a surprise, because Celestia, much capable of dealing with their own shit, because they don't have as much shit as all the others.
You guys have a glorious Garden of Eden and no one else is allowed in it anymore.
Yeah, because the Glory Garden of Eden will collapse when you people is let in.
I mean, probably. Like, you guys don't have
Yeah.
heated floors? What's wrong with you?
Well, because Boros.
Yeah, they're kind of mean too.
Orzhov seems to have split into two solid camps.
Oh, okay.
One camp is like, look at all the money we can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the protection racketeers have gone through the roof. They are... The other side is more like the true believer.
In what way?
The ones who feel like Orzhova should be running more than it is today.
Okay.
They are like, this is a golden opportunity to bring those poor and huddled masses under our domain. We can protect them when no one else can, in exchange for their souls.
Well, right, yeah.
So it seems to be like separate, like the business side and the cleric side seems to have a bit of a division as to how to operate going forward.
Okay.
What does Teza Karlov think about this? Because she's been through this whole song and dance before.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the voices of reason. Like, we must stay unified. We must not lose sight of what our purpose is. Let us not stretch ourselves so thin that we tear ourselves apart. That's the Teza Karlov song and dance.
Who is that?
She's one of the...
Basically, the Obsidic Ghost Council, they need someone to like handle their corporeal affairs. I'm pretty sure that's Teza that they have for that.
Yeah. She is like pretty high up in the organization. She holds the same position as Kaya, like power wise, but she's definitely a more established.
Yeah. She has seniority.
Yes. Kaya is like, yes, we shall make the people love us, and the poor and huddled masses shall rally to our cause in exchange for whatever. We'll figure it out. Damakos is more on the let's make money now. We don't know how long the state of insecurity is going to last. Let's get paid. But he also isn't very he was never in Orzhov because of the fate.
No.
Which he doesn't really make a secret of either. What you know about the other guy? Azoria's Senate is grabbing for control. And not in the we are Azorius, we shall rule all the things, but they're trying to keep a lid on the situation. They're trying to keep the city from turning into, well, a fireball. They have asked people to attend a gathering of all the guilds. So that they might discuss the current situation and how to deal with it going forward.
Sounds like an ice roundup to me.
Is anyone actually going to show up to that?
I think everyone's going to show up to it, mainly to see what everyone else has to say, but it will probably turn into a bunch of people yelling at each other.
Right.
So
Finger pointing and accusations of grabs for power. Boros is well, we're going to step up patrols and tell people to not do bad things, but we're kind of arming for war. We're expecting someone to come for us. We know we're not winning any popularity contests anytime soon, and that's quite all right in our book. The Simic have pretty much gone the same route as Selesnya by stealing themselves away. No one's really sure what Simic is up to. But it's probably going to be big and slimy, Simic.
Yeah.
Golgari has... They're a weird one. They have kind of stepped into what is Orzhov's plan. In areas where there have been rioting, and keep in mind, you all live in District 10, but you hear reports that there was outrageous looting and rioting in District 72, which would basically be you live in New York, but you hear there's rioting in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they're they have taken in people who are... There was a mosquito.
Okay.
Taken in people that are guildless. Seeking protection. They have offered protection to those who ask for it. The Golgari swarm contains things that will make a grown man break out into nightmare. So, horrors, undead, necromancers, Crow, trolls, Medusas. So things have to be pretty bad if people are asking the Golgari to be please.
Right.
Rakdos has taken this as like a mission statement. The people are upset and they need entertainment in their time of grief. They have been putting up shows all over the place, bigger, badder, crazier than before. And there have been some kerfuffles between Rakdos and Boros and Rakdos and Azorius.
What's the primary disagreement with the shows?
With Azorius, it's you need a permit for that.
Mm-hmm.
And with Boros, it's like, that's a little too much bloodshed for me to be comfortable with it.
Okay.
And Rakdos is kind of like, haha, you don't know shit. Like, here's the thing. Rakdos does put on a show. And yes, occasionally people die, mainly because they get eaten by demons. But they're not psychopaths. Like, a lot of the show is that's like living up to the hype isn't really like, it's a mass illusion. It's a suggestion. They're putting on a spectacle about Rakdos and how crazy they are. Rakdos isn't crazy. Yes, they worship demons, but these are demons that have like stepped up to the plate and saved Ravnica in the past. And yes, those demons do require the occasional sacrifice. That's just the price you pay for having a demon as like your guard dog. Occasionally you go to the chicken coop and you give that guard dog a chicken. Or a person.
That's fair.
Gruul has definitely, like, they're probably the guild that's like done the most. Because Gruul, what they want is quite simply everyone else to go away. So there has been raids, Gruul raids into territories that were populated, driving out the populace, tearing down buildings, setting fire to whatever was there, reclaiming it for nature. There's badness happening, but most of it is being kept out of District 10. Because, like, District 10 is basically like the United Nations. It's the district where all the guilds have their headquarters. They all live in close proximity. Like, most of the skirmishes are going on pretty far outside District 10. Like, the border testing. Because if you're testing borders, that's the kind of shit that you do in Nigeria and Uganda. You don't do it in New York. So most of the most of the squabbling is going on in like territories that has been contested for years.
Sure.
And it's mainly like, at this point, it's mainly name calling, but there is a sense of like, if someone doesn't deal, then it won't end well.
So, in a general geographical sense, District 10 is, I mean, it's like got the guild halls, right? How strong? So I assume that it's sort of the seat of power of all of these places. and that power sort of diffuses as you go out away from the guild centers? Or is it still,
No. No, not really. Like, think about District 10 as the United Nations.
Okay.
So everyone has like their embassy there, but their countries are other places. Like they have all the guilds have large swaths of territory that they control. Like, let's say Gruul controls all of Australia.
Sure.
Because I mean, it's hot. Who else lives anywhere where it's like crazy and filled with shit that wants to kill you?
Yeah.
So, while that is not where like their headquarters is located, it's definitely a massive seat of power for them, because you have this large area where almost all of the populace are either Gruul or they're guildless, but they're like, yeah, the Gruul's okay. I mean, they're like, they rule this area. I'm just a farmer. Like, I don't know about politics, but they seem like a nice enough bunch of fellas. Been hunting in them here far since I was just a wee tadpole. My daddy taught me to hunt, like his daddy taught him to hunt before him, and I ain't got no problem with the Gruul. They're good people. Bit funny with the face painting and all, but, you know, don't bother me none. What do you call this time, young lady? She's hiding.
In shame.
In shame.
No, sorry, I was super muted.
Did you just wake up?
I literally just woke up.
Sure.
Last night was super rough, and I slept through literally 5 alarms. And my phone is on airplane mode for some reason, so I guess when I turned the alarm off in my sleep, I turned my phone on airplane mode. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We're banning you to the shame zone for the next 3 weeks, so, you know, it is what it is. We're not upset about it, right, gang? It's not like we did this just for Rue or anything. We're just gonna be super passive aggressive about this for the rest of the session.
I mean, that's fair.
And by passive aggressive, I mean aggressive aggressive.
Aggressive.
Super aggressive.
I don't have it in me to be aggressive. I learned from my sisters.
But yes, a week has passed. The guilds are in disarray. There is a summit that is being summited in the chamber of the Guildpact, and it is set for the 29th.
Okay, that's the Azorius meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Because Azorius are the ones that also watch the Chamber of the Guildpact. Like, it's always been their responsibility.
Well, and it makes the most sense. I mean, if they're so focused on law, then having a law mage die, and like this affects them the most, probably like personally. Yeah. Like their responsibilities are affected the most. So.
Yeah.
I get it.
And their guild leader, Isperia. Isperia and I think the Isperia and Niv Mizzet are like two of the few people that actually remembers the time before the Guildpact. Isperia wasn't the guild leader at that time. That was Azor. But Isperia was alive at that time. Sure. She remembers the dark times like 10,000 years ago before the Guildpact.
Right.
When all of Ravnica was at war.
Okay. So we have a couple days before that meeting happens.
2 days.
2 days. You know, one thing I'd be interested in keeping an eye on as time has passed since, you know, everybody's kind of been picking sides in Orzhov.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in seeing where Kaya is moving, what she's doing.
She's definitely on the... We should use this as an opportunity to recruit people.
Okay.
Yeah. Less into the war profiteering. Like, she's not against profit, but she's way more in the... Let's recruit people.
Okay. Interesting.
Let's expand our power base. That's
Mhm.
Kaya.
And are they drawing up like official is it just sort of like an informal here's what I think we should be doing, or are people actually like splitting off and only working with people who...
are actually like battle lines are being drawn.
Okay.
Teza and the Ghost Council are all preaching like, let's grow a little, let's make a little more money, like let's not go completely overboard here. Where Kaya is like revolutionary on the side of, let's recruit all the guild class, we will become unstoppable. And then you have people like Slavomir is definitely more on the side of like, let's get paid than let's get all the people, but he's on the conservative side of the let's not go completely overboard and shithead here. But Azra's grandfather is one of the people who's way more on the let's get paid, bitch.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely like a clear voice in that. Most of the pontiffs are like staying fairly neutral about the whole thing. But of the pontiffs, you could say Talia's waiting. She seems to want to bet on the winner, and she's like waiting until a clearer picture is being drawn. Tessia, she's like, stay the course, moderation. Let's not go crazy, people. Demakos is way more in the let's get paid camp. Like, out of the pontiffs, he's probably the clearest voice in that camp.
Okay.
And
you said Kaya was a loud voice on the...
Yeah, she's definitely a loud voice in the other camp.
Would you say the loudest, or are there others that are more, like, taking the reins
I mean,
on that?
There are others that are louder, but she's definitely the most important. Like, the only one of the pontiffs who...
Okay.
What about Mirai?
Mariah still feels kind of like she's got nowhere to stay. Except we just... that building up in Precinct 1 or whatever. And Calista now has the keys to. That used to be Miss Andrews. And, I mean, doesn't seem like the safest place to bunker down, but I need somewhere that I can turn into a laboratory. So...
The Precinct 2. It's a Precinct 2.
Precinct 2?
Yeah.
You mean the home of a known assassin in the days
Yes.
just after a high...
Right.
Yeah.
Also in an area that is completely filled with Azorius arresters and Orzark cartel members.
I ain't doing anything illegal.
That doesn't matter.
All right, maybe I'll petition for a small laboratory in Nivix or something. I need a lab. I'm looking
My
for
last
real
one
estate.
blew up, please.
Sure. Give me a faction roll.
Okay, it's not going to be a very good roll. I can feel it.
You can always take your natural 1.
What kind of lab is it that you're looking?
For now, I just need somewhere that can have an alchemist table and a workbench, for starters.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's the right one. Yeah, you do get the use of a lab. You're sharing it with like 3 other more junior members. But it has a multiple like alchemist table. It's basically like you get a table, a desk, a bookshelf, and a cupboard to store your experiments in. It's not fancy, but it will do you for now.
For now.
It's mainly meant for like if you're not actually like a research assistant on a more important project, this is like where you're allowed to do like your
Sure.
smaller project. It's not your own private lab, but you're working towards it.
Okay.
Anything specific that you're experimenting on?
There were some pretty simple inventions, like kind of a watch like wrist device that like I can cast light on the, but it also has like a sort of a lid, so I can just like, it'd almost be like a flashlight at that point. So turn it on, turn it off. Kind of unidirectional so that it doesn't, so I'm not a bright beacon of light when we go down into tunnels. And I don't know. I don't have a lot of money for like raw materials, so it's tough.
How much money do you need?
I don't know. Because I can make healing potions with
Mhm.
my alchemist supplies, but I don't know. I assume it'd be like 25 minimum a piece, maybe more like 30 to 50.
I mean, it would cost you like a healing potion costs half to make as it costs to buy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the option of selling your soul.
I mean, not over healing potions. And if I had 25 gold, I'd scribe my scroll of identify first. Maybe I should work for the Firemind. Maybe I should see what needs doing.
Or maybe you could ask your friends if.
Yeah, you literally could ask either of the two friends that definitely have money if you could
That
have some money.
Definitely would require like 100% interest because they're Orzhov.
It wouldn't, because they're your friends.
Don't
Realize
trust
that, right?
them. Don't trust them.
I don't know that Mirai does, to be fair.
Well, you know what? Go fucking work for your money then.
I mean, Azrael did let you live in her apartment rent-free
True.
for
And
like 10
bought
days.
you clothes and never asked for you to pay her
That's
back.
true. That's true. But then Mirai probably feels guilty about that.
Like you want to repay her?
I mean, it'd be nice
It would.
once the time travel business really kicks off.
Roll me a D100. I mean, you are really fucking broke. And you kind
Yes.
of don't have a place to stay.
Right.
And looking for ways to support yourselves is probably one of the things that you're doing, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So between like volunteering, like some of the people that you share a lab with, a couple of them, like they mention like people they know that might be looking for not really research assistants, but just, you know, bits and bobs, things too advanced for a goblin, but it's basically grunt work. But it would give you some extra coin. And by just picking up like odd jobs, basically like researching this one day for this dude and fetching some stuff another day for another dude, I'd say you could scrape together like 50 gold. That will at least let you get identify.
Okay. Yep.
And I think your mom has offered for you to stay with.
True. Except she's all the way over in Selesnya.
It's safe here.
It is safe there. And I mean, it's one district over. Nivix is in
True. 4.
precinct
and then-
4, and they're in 3, so I'll just move it.
Mirai really wants to make it on her own. It's sad to have to move in with your parents again.
I mean, yeah, that like I get that Mirai wants to make it on her own, but Mirai has yet to formulate a plan how to support herself, and
We're gonna scrape together money doing odd jobs, and we're gonna build an invention that gives us great royalties.
she's gonna win the lottery. I see.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, she's a divination wizard. It might happen.
There you go.
What about Talon? What is Talon doing over the course of the week once the world fell down?
Like we always do here in Celestia, plan to take over the world. No, but
Same thing we do every day.
exactly. Ah, that show. But most, like, the world's just gone to shit. His position within the guild and his feelings are like, well, if the guild needs me to protect something right now, they have me available. But as well as trying to keep an ear to the ground to not go completely blind in that week.
Yeah. Roll me an insight.
Oh yeah, an insight.
Mhm.
Ah!
Yeah. There's a general, like, people tend to identify what other people are doing out from the perspective of what they would do in that situation. So there's a general sense within Celestia that everyone else is gearing up to try to take over.
Surprise.
I think the main cause of unease for Selesnya is the idea of Boros, because Boros and Azorius are both pretty much on Selesnya's doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
And the Gruul.
True, I mean, feels like at the moment, the Boras, at least their Saurians, are less of a, oh shit, they're going to invade us in a minute feeling. More like the Gruul is a bit more, oh shit,
Yeah,
they're going to jump our
like-
walls in a minute.
Azorius is going to lecture you to death, Boros is going to punch you to death, and Gruul is going to burn down all the trees.
Yes, so they are the definite threat.
But there is the thing with Selesnya and the Gruul is there is this weird kind of like cousin thing they have going. While Selesnya feels like Gruul are misguided, they also feel like they are onto something. I mean, there is too much civilization and not enough wilderness, but burning people isn't going to fix it.
It's the wrong way to go about it. The idea is
Yeah.
solid, but maybe work on your method.
That's true. They definitely have more of a problem with the execution than the idea of it. But the Gruul are keeping their raids out of District 10. They know, like, if Gruul were to encroach upon District 10, that's like, oh, let's have all the other guilds rally against them. So they are like keeping their incursions in like not as densely populated areas and areas that have been like raided by the Gruul for longer. They're more like firming their grasp on what they already considered to be theirs, even if there are some good. The Gruul is probably the one that has like weakened their presence in District 10 because they're like having fun on it.
Yeah, suddenly he's like, oh, we get to do all the fun things now, and
but yeah, like your guard duties have definitely increased. And it's boring. It gives you plenty of time to use your mind for other things. I mean, standing and looking scary isn't really hard. There are definite talks about where did you? The Trostani is divided. Like, Harmony doesn't really talk much. Order wants to like negotiate peace treaties with the other guilds. Life wants to build the strength of the conclave. So guild leadership is a bit up in the air in Celestia right now, which means, and it's part of the reason why like Celestia is like closing ranks, because with the leadership being not sure on the way forward, that's pretty much the best you can do.
Mm-hmm. Didn't that actually happen? Like, maybe not that specific, but didn't that actually happen in MTG lore? That they were like super divided?
Well, Tristani Discordant.
Yeah. That's what happens when you have 3 heads.
True.
Interesting.
But 2 heads get into an argument, and the 3rd head's like, "Why can't we just get along?"
Pretty much.
I mean, they do give everyone a +1. Because, like, the rest of the guild is shutting ranks to protect the leadership until it makes a decision.
Mm-hmm. Whenever that'll be.
Valid. But Celestia is definitely sending an envoy, emissaries, to the meeting. But since a decision hasn't been made whether or not they're like actively seeking a peace treaty or not, it's mainly like a watch and report back kind of mission.
Mm-hmm. They're not gonna actively take part, because when your leader hasn't told you what to do, you don't do nothing.
True. But it's just a general sense of like people preparing. Like when you don't know what's gonna happen, you prepare for as many outcomes as.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a sense of like people getting ready for war, people getting ready to barricade themselves in. The thing about Celestia is the Trostani is the absolute voice of Celestia. Whatever the Trostani will decide upon will be done. And it will be the wise and the correct thing to do in the eyes of the Celestia Conclave. It's just since they haven't decided yet, people are just preparing for any possible outcome that might come. There's no discordance within Celestia. Everyone's like, when the Trostani decides, we will do it.
We're waiting for what Matt Celestia is just telling them.
Yeah. Your brother is still being missing a lot of the time. And not really the wordiest about where he goes when he's not around.
Since the world is burning down, can I figure out where he's going? Trying to follow some way.
Yeah, he's leaving Precinct 3.
Yeah, well, that ain't a surprise. What guild he's going to.
He seems to be
Cunt.
meeting people. Give me a stealth.
A stealth.
Mm-hmm. The stealthiest.
I don't roll well on stealth. 8 plus 8 to a stealth. Not gonna.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I roll above a 5.
Yeah. I mean, you try to keep a low profile and follow your brother. He does slip you on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
But from what you can ascertain, he does seem to be meeting a multitude of people. And a shopkeeper here, a librarian there, a street rat here, and in a multitude of districts. Precinct 4, Precinct 2, Precinct 1, Precinct 6, Precinct 5. Even a couple of meetings within Precinct 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I bet the ones he does meet does not bear any thing that would identify them.
Some do. There's a shopkeeper that's obviously Izzet wearing an Izzet insignia. A street thug that seems to be an Orzhov operative. A young girl with a pretty horrific scar that bears the mark, the face painting of the Golgari. So it seems to be a multitude of guild, but mainly guildless. But that 90% of the population is. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Demir wouldn't really wear a mark.
Oh.
Or if they did, it probably wouldn't be Demir.
Pretty much. Wonderful.
And what about Azrael? What is she up to now that the world is burning? I mean, it might not. The fuse is lit. Let's put it that way.
She would have spent a large majority of the time.
Is your mic above your head? It's really hard to hear you.
I'm also can't fucking talk right now. Is it still? Oh fuck, because it's reversed. Is that better?
Much
Yes.
better.
Okay. She would have spent like a majority of the week with, or at least near Talia,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of keep up appearances and also to pick up any information she could gather. With like changes in Orzhov or what's happening and that type of thing. She would have also tried to meet with Ilya, seeing as she's back.
Mm-hmm.
And then would have not went to see, but would have like gotten someone to like deliver a letter to the
Alex?
old, yes, to Alex, and then also to Callista.
Mm-hmm. Just like checking in, or
Yeah, basically being like, are you okay? I can't come and see you, kind of thing. I just need to know that you're all right.
Alex is swamped at Azorius as they're trying to like soothe as many tempers as possible, make sure the world doesn't explode tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
There has been an uptick in like petty crimes, like small riots, that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff that happens when people get scared and do stupid shit. Does she get a reply back from Callista?
Yeah, she would get a reply back. Not really, but it's fine.
That clears up so many things.
Yep.
So, I think what you pick up from hanging around Talia, she's definitely waiting to see who the dominant, like, who is going to win. She wants to declare for the winner. So right now she's waiting to see who will. She's in favor of both the factions within Norsov. She's like, yay, more people. Also, yay, more money.
To be fair, I don't know if Rue was here for that description yet. I don't recall when that happened.
Yeah, one of them wants to do like war profiteering.
Yeah.
To gain more funds. Yeah. The other one wants more members to Orzhov.
Yes.
To gain for people that are like guildless and shit.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I context clued. I wasn't here, but I context clued.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're splitting on like pretty official terms.
Yeah. Okay.
So she is definitely hanging back on making a decision, but she has been in meetings with all the other
and is it on just like an oligarch pontiff level, or is it like the entirety of like?
Oh yeah, no, it's splitting. Like the cartels are definitely in the money, while the syndics are way more in the help the guildless.
So I'm assuming the Papa Prosperos and the helping of people. Then,
I mean,
is that where my family allied themselves?
Your father is on the helping people. Your grandfather is on get the money.
Get the money, yeah. That makes sense, though.
And the pontiffs are mainly like trying to, let's not do anything drastic.
Mm-hmm.
this is a system that's worked for 10,000 years. Are we really ready to throw it out of the window? With a couple of exceptions. The oligarchs are kind of split 50-50. The knights, like the ministrants, are leaning more towards guildless helping. The knights are leaning more towards economy, but there are like ministrants who's like, let's get rich, bitch. And there are knights who are like, let's help people.
Okay.
Whereas on the syndic side, like they're young, they're naive. They're still on the let's help the helpless. While the cartels are much more like money, 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 money. But where
continue
they're
doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But where there used to be like a balance and unwritten, like we do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, now it's like we should do more of the things I'm good at, says both sides.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Talia has been meeting with like all the other pontiffs, long meetings behind closed doors, a couple of the oligarchs as well. You get the sense is mainly like trying to chart where people's loyalties lie.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still making up her mind as to what side she will finally come down on.
Yeah, and clearly the one that's going to win out is the thing.
I mean, something will win.
Yep, it always does. Okay, cool. And then am I able to find, like, Ilya or... Well, I would be Ilya, because I wouldn't want to find the other one.
Yeah, I think, like, you go out for a night, have some drinks, catch up on the what's good and what's less good. One of the reasons why, you know, she's been, like, steadily rising in the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get the sense that she's definitely on the let's get paid. Like, that's what she does.
I mean, yeah, that's what we did. We were the ones that were like, yeah, let's just make money. I can kill people and do it? Done. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm. Orzhov is sending, like, all the guilds are sending people to the summit. And Orzhov is sending a small delegation for Orzhov. I have too many notes and handouts and things. Tessia Krylov will be like leading that, since she does speak.
I was just gonna say, is she still the face for the Obsidet?
Mm-hmm.
Or rather the mouth?
She is. And they're not fucking going, so they're sending her.
Makes sense.
There are other people lobbying to be added into that. Kaya definitely wants to be included.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes like, well, if Kaya is going, then the Marcus wants to, since they are kind of opposing sides of the.
Right.
So what starts out as a small delegation turns into a pretty big one. And Talia volunteers you for it. She's like, I want to know, but I don't want to go. So you're gonna report back to me what is said and who said what and who does what.
Oh, me. I'm volunteered for it. Wonderful. Yes. All right.
And since the Marcos is going and he's been taking more of an interest in Callista and showing her the ropes, as they say, Callista is invited to go. Seeing more of the guild politics. It is an important part.
It's very exciting.
Mm-hmm. And with Mirai scrambling for that cash, volunteering to be a scribe. Because, like, it's going to be a bunch of boring politicians talking about boring politics.
Obviously.
And everyone else is like, no, I got explosions and shit to do. And they're like, we need someone to transcribe this.
We need someone boring. Okay.
Fine, I'll pay 100 gold to whoever volunteers first. And, like, Mirai's hand's like, yeah, I'll do it.
I saw it coming thanks to my divination skill. I'm like, yep, I'm there.
Like, the second before the 100 gold, Mirai's hand goes up in the air. As soon as she finishes that sentence, there's, like, for a second, only Mirai's hand hanging in the air. And Selesnya. Oh, my ears. Are sending Garo, who's the Glade Master. Like, he's the Glade Master of the Selesnya Conclave, and he's like high enough up that it won't feel like an insult. But since he's not the Trostani, no one will be surprised that the Selesnya isn't making decisions one way or another. That is the prerogative of the Trostani.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you get invited to go as part of the entourage, mainly as like a bodyguard, but also kind of like, yeah, it looks cool with some prancing centaurs. It is what the people expect of Selesnya. Let's give him a show.
Let's give them the prancing centaurs.
Many
Give the
prancing
people what they
centaurs.
want. Yeah.
Let's give the people what they want. But in the 2 days leading up to this meeting, are there any specific things that you would like to do?
Yeah. I would go find Azra.
Yeah, she's pretty easy to find. She's
Mhm.
like in Alia's house or in or Zorva most of the time. Like, do
Yeah.
you go if you go early morning or evening, she's at home. If you go during the day, she's at Zorva.
I'd probably go during the day.
During the day?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Cut out slightly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Do you want to find Azrael alone?
I don't necessarily care.
Yeah, she's probably like doing busy work. Like the kind of work a personal assistant would do.
Sure.
You see her like coming out of an office and grab a hold of her just as she's leaving. On one of those bring your daughter to work days that your father has implemented.
Yes. Exactly. Hey,
Hello? What are you doing here?
I work here. What are you doing here?
Also working.
Been pretty busy lately, huh?
Yes. Kind of going to be very busy for a while, all things considered.
What keeps you so busy?
Talia.
Got a lot of work for you to do.
For the most part, yes.
What's the rest part?
Taking care of things. For her and for my family. When I can. This seems a little bit like an interrogation, Kalista.
It's because it pretty much is one. You're supposed to work with me. That's the deal. And I haven't seen you in a really long time, and only like one day every so often you show up and you say you're busy. But then I come and see you work, and all you're doing is carrying around some stupid thing.
This is my work. I'm taking care of things for Talia while she sleeps. When she's awake, I'm beside Talia as I am meant to be.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means that's what my job is.
Your job is to be beside her.
To be her thing, whatever she needs me to do. It's what I do.
No, that's what you
I'm
do for
not.
me.
It's what I did for you before the whole fucking world came a little bit crashing down.
Yeah, those before that too, you stopped.
Are we in Orzova?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no. Azra just like grabs Callista's arm and like starts walking. Is there like a place in Orzova that I would have found that is at least like not busy? Is a good place to have a quiet conversation.
Yeah, there's like plenty of like offices and rooms for like confessions. You know, like oh fuck, what are they called? The John Travolta church. Tom Cruise church.
Scientology.
Scientology.
Yeah, where like Scientology have like those rooms where you tell them all your sins and then they blackmail you with them later.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I want to find one of those.
Yeah.
First time anyone's ever said that.
Apparently not.
True.
Yeah, and just take Calista to one of them and make sure that there's like no one around.
No, like these
Yeah.
rooms are designed to be private.
To be
they're
private,
like
yeah.
they're like luxury confessionals where you see whoever you're.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, Kalisa, I can't just talk about this shit out in the open. I got in trouble for being away as much as I did before. It's not like I don't want to be with you and the others. I can't right now.
You're just doing your job.
Don't say it like that. I can't. And she like, as will just like stop and like put her hands on her temples and just kind of think for a second before she just goes, do you know the day after when I was gone? Just a few weeks ago, before what we saw happened that led up to this whole thing, when I just kind of disappeared.
I don't know, I guess. It's been a lot of those days, but sure.
I couldn't walk for a majority of that. Talia was mad, and I got punished for being away.
She grounded you?
I was made to kneel for 11 hours. I couldn't feel my legs. And I had to make her happy again. So I couldn't leave.
Why didn't you just stand up?
Because there's a lot of things that go into the reason why I can't do a lot of things when it's Talia. And I can't really get into them.
It's a secret.
For the most part, yes.
Everybody's got secrets. Feeling really tired of all the secrets.
You know what Talia is, right?
She kind of shrugs.
A vampire?
So,
Why do you think I have to be so close to her, Callista?
otherwise she turns into a bat.
No, that's not. I am a very main source of what keeps her going. And when I'm away for a long period of time, it's like a food source being taken away.
Callista has a look of like kind of like pondering things, but I think that you know her well enough that there was very momentarily a smile forced back. So like, you're a snack.
Yes.
Snack.
The snack that smiles back.
Do you remember when you guys were all playing a really mean joke on me? And it started out kind of funny, and then I got really mad about it, and I left.
I do remember, yes. About Goran.
Did you see him or not?
No, Callista, I didn't. I couldn't hear him either.
Damokos couldn't either. But he pretends like he can. And I don't know why.
When did you start seeing Goran, Callista?
I guess I saw him the first time was the Undercity when we were doing our cave thing. We saw that big flower.
Did you touch anything
No.
before that? Eat anything?
I had some waffles, I had a couple of muffins, and I had a cupcake, and I had pancakes and syrup, and I had 2 coffees and some sugar.
I get the yep, I get the picture. Just normal food. I meant anything strange, anything different that you hadn't. Oh, did you put on anything?
Like perfume and stuff.
Was it any of it new, or just what you normally wear?
I mean, I have new clothes and stuff. I'm trying to remember. I don't know, it was a while. I think the newest thing I got was, well, never mind, you wouldn't have seen it because you weren't here. I guess like one of the more newest things I got was the necklace. It was my mom's.
Did you?
But I
find
told
it?
you about that.
Yeah, the one Demogos gave it.
Yeah.
Gave it to you.
It was the same night as the party when everybody met him. That was such a
Right.
good night.
Have you taken it off at all?
No.
Can you?
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Just for a moment?
Okay. Yeah, I'll unclasp it and take it off.
Hmm. Do you see Corin all the time?
No. Only when he comes around.
Alright. You believe us then,
I don't
when
know.
we say that we can't? At least you know I wouldn't lie to you. And Damago's told Talon and I some things that I didn't believe at first, and then it started happening, and it's just a really weird coincidence
Like what?
that you were seeing things, that you've always saw things, that your mother saw things.
She saw things.
That weren't real.
How would he know that?
He said that he was close friends with your family.
Did he say anything else?
He said that you had shown signs of it before. That he caught you before you were attempting to fly from the top of some stairs.
So? Didn't you ever try?
No, I never did.
It's probably too late now.
Your imagination isn't strong enough to give you wings anymore.
I haven't had an imagination since I was 16 years old. I used to just like fighting dragons and shit.
So... You think I'm crazy too?
No, I don't. I know you aren't. You're one of the smartest people I know.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm not crazy too.
That is true, but I don't think you're crazy. I never have.
How would you know?
A gut feeling. And I trust you.
That's
You
not
haven't
much.
done. I don't have much to go on, but you've never made me feel like you were. So I stand by not believing that you aren't. Do you think you're crazy?
Kalista kind of just like looks around. And specifically at Azra. Maybe.
Why?
You didn't hear anybody but me just now, did you?
No, I only heard you.
And she just kind of like sits down next to the wall.
Azra looks very concerned. Is it Corin then? No,
No.
there are others.
I don't know.
Then what do you mean when you just said that I didn't hear anything? Did you hear something?
Yes. But I don't know unless I ask everybody all day long if they hear all the same things I do and see all the same things I do.
Azrael, can you give me a perception check?
Yep. Nope.
Kalista?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this room is ornately decorated.
Yeah.
And as you're having like your little breakdown,
Yeah.
you swear to God, like one of the like gargoylean. I mean, Azorius are nothing but if not pompous. So like one of the decorations that's like in the corner of the room, like up by the ceiling, like turns and smirks at you going insane.
Yep, running, screaming.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, it's what? What? Kalista just ran off screaming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fuck. Azra would go after her to try and catch her.
And I feel like the scene is like Kalista is on the floor, kind of curled up, and then suddenly breaks, like stands up really quickly and breaks into a full-on sprint. The door slamming open,
Yeah.
and Azrael's just like, Kalista, wait, Kalista, and runs after her. And as the camera pans to black, we see that little gargoyle take its swings and flutter down the corridor.
Asshole gargoyles every time.
I know, right? Mirai,
Hi.
What you doing, Bill?
These last couple days, I'm not sure. Maybe I will check in with my mother. I would hate for something to happen because there's no Guildpact now.
Well, your mother is currently living in District 3. And she's like Selesnya loyal, but she's not really. Like, she operates a food truck. She doesn't really have Selesnya standing.
Right.
But Selesnya takes care of its own. And while there has been a definite slowdown in the foot traffic as the other guilds aren't really... It's not like people stop you from entering. There's just this general sense of like people watching you. Like, Selesnya has always been like this super welcoming place where everyone is like, oh, be our guest, be our guest. And
now they're like, report suspicious packages.
Yes. But I think one thing you do notice is there's definitely an uptick in like people being armed. Large beasts in the street, like armored beasts.
Yep.
And there seems to be an uptick in the general population. Like,
okay.
People who might be like living... There's Lesnia, but they might not live in the conclave, have sort of like, yeah, we're moving to the conclave until past, so.
Okay.
But yeah, you do find your mother quite easily. Her food truck is still open and operating. And as she sees you, she is obviously delighted. Mirai!
Hey, Mom.
Oh, look at you. You're all skin and bones. What's happening to you? I swear, you're shrinking every time I see you. You're growing a size smaller. You know, a real man wants a woman with some meat on her bones.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Coffee does me just fine.
She'll have a green tea and a muffin.
Okay.
All that caffeine is not good for you.
Well,
look at these bags under your eyes. Have you even been in the sun for like the past month?
The sun. I think I've heard of it.
Mirai.
Yes.
I understand your need for knowledge. I do. I've been there, but neglecting yourself will not bring you more knowledge. It will only make you sick. Look at these circles under your eyes.
It's not just the search for knowledge, Mom. It's also this to be the first one there. And that requires sacrifice.
Sweetie, everything in life requires sacrifice. But if what you're sacrificing is your health and your sanity, you will not be the first one there. You'll be the last one, and you'll be wheeled in on some kind of wheelbarrow.
Of course you're right. I should get better sleep, but it's hard, and this past week I've been sleeping on a cot in Nivix.
Cot? What happened to your apartment?
It's not very safe there, I don't think. I caught an arcane eye spying on me.
An arcane... Mirai, why didn't you come to me? You could stay with me whenever you need to. You know that.
Yeah.
You can hang a sock on the door if you want to have boy company over.
That's okay. I don't think that will be necessary.
Look. Me and your father, we didn't end on the best terms. But the truth is, there was a time when we were good for each other. Having someone to share things with, to bounce ideas off, these things are important for progress. You cannot do it on your own. And she's sort of like, as you're nibbling on your muffins and like wincing at the taste of green tea, she like gets up and stands behind you, and she's like rubbing your shoulders that are incredibly tensed after being hunched over a desk for like a month now. Mira, you need... In order to progress, you need to know when you're at a dead end. And when you're trying new things, sometimes you will get stuck. You'll find a dead end, and if there's no one there to point it out to you, you'll bang your head against it until you get a migraine. Nothing exists in a vacuum. I understand the need to be at the spear's edge of innovation. I do, but it turned your father into the man he is today, and I don't want to see the same thing happen. Research doesn't have to be a race. It can be a sharing. You're a clever girl, Mirai. Very smart, you always have been, but there are people who are smarter than you. People who know things that you don't know. And you know things that they don't know, and together you can create wonderful things together. You just need to find that person that can bring out the best. And maybe in turn you can do the same for them.
I think that person might have exploded.
Oh, honey. There's a reason most research are done in teams. No one person is ever all you need. Talk to your friends. I know they're not as into magical theory as you, but they might have ideas. What about that nice centaur boy, Talon?
Yeah. He's been very kind.
Selesnya has a way of thinking about time that is quite different from the Izzet way. Sometimes a different perspective is just what you need to illuminate things for you.
You have a point.
I know I do. I'm your mother.
Yeah.
Now, one of these days, you're going to invent something brilliant. But I trust you won't kill yourself trying to get there first. It doesn't matter if someone gets you. And maybe someone already has. You'll take that, what they have done, and you'll build on it, and you'll make it better than it was. That's how all research goes. every barrier, every doorstep that you have to walk through, there's another one right behind it. And if someone beats you to this, then you'll beat them to the next one. Don't focus so hard on a singular goal. There are so many leaps forward we can do. This hogging of information, the reason why I left is it because it's not bringing us forward, pulling us back.
What if someone gets a hold of my research and does terrible things with it?
Uses it to kill millions of people?
It's possible.
What do you think the person who invented the fireball feels like?
I don't know. Probably not great.
All magic has the potential for great. But that is not your fault. Magic is about intent. Your intent is innovation. Their intent might be murder. There are so many ways to hurt someone. One more won't really make a difference, will it? And she's like looking around the crowd that is like more armored, clearly gearing up for conflict.
Wow, that's kind of depressing, Mom. Thanks.
Humans, they will fight about who gets to be the king over tiny molehills. It's what we do, it's what we've done for thousands of years. Magic can be used to heal, as well as destroy. Someone uses a spell you invent to hurt someone, then I guess you'll just have to invent another spell to heal. No?
Yeah.
No, stop being such a Debbie Downer and finish your muffin.
Okay. It's green tea. I don't know if it agrees with me, but I feel better.
Good, you're getting some color into your cheeks. Now finish that muffin and I'll get you a piece of carrot for dessert.
We have different definitions of absurd, but okay.
Well, she's not quite Callisto.
Sure. Hey, Mom.
Hmm?
I think if I do invent the next big thing, you think Dad will finally be proud of me?
I think your father's already proud of you. He's just a grumpy old man who's very bad at telling people.
Okay.
You know he keeps it.
Keeps what?
Everything. Everything you've ever published.
He does?
He has an album. He's always been proud of you. I just think he's a little bit jealous sometimes.
Why would he have to be jealous about? He's pretty high up, and is it? He does okay.
He does. But while his best days are behind him, yours are still in front of him. I think that makes him sad. You know, it wouldn't be the worst idea to ask to cooperate with you on this research. He had a great mind once, and most of it is there.
Maybe. Well, you've given me a lot to think about. And maybe for a few weeks, living here might not be the worst.
It would be safe. I'll
Safe
get
is
an
nice.
extra key for you. Okay?
Okay.
You can come whenever you want.
Okay. For now, I should go see my friends. Although I signed on to this job, maybe after I do the whole Azorius meeting and the Chambers of Guildpact thing.
There's like a slight frown on your, like, stupid Azorius meeting. Don't know why you have to go to that. It's the one thing that Izzet and Selesnya have in common. They're like,
Laws just get in the way of science.
Regulations.
Morality, ethics.
I mean,
Pshaw.
that's the stuff that Selesnya agrees with.
Right?
So dumb. So who do you go and see first? I mean, you're in Celeste.
True. Should go hang out with Talon.
Good buddy Talon.
Warrior of peace.
Shut your whore mouth.
I will, because it's a lie.
I mean, that's like what Selesnya preaches. Like, and then we'll have a great bloody war, and when we win, there will be peace.
There will be peace when all of our enemies are dead. Yeah, it's simple math, really.
I like math.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you would fit right in.
Is that what Mariah and Talon hanging out is like? Death to our enemies. And I'm like, yes. That equation checks out.
Yeah, like how does Celestia winning equal eternal peace and death to enemies?
I mean,
Selesnya minus the other 9 guilds equals 1 guild to rule them all.
No, eternal peace sounds much better.
yeah, I think you find Talon probably patrolling one of the areas closer to the Great Concourse.
Okay. I'll call out to him, wave or whatever.
I'll spot her just before doing anything else, quickly looking around, just checking if there's anyone who I shouldn't, be going off my guard duty to chat with this non-Celestian woman.
Yep, that's in my resume. Non-Celestian woman.
Mhm.
Pretty much.
It's on the Tinder profile.
Non-celestial
Non-
woman.
Non-Celestian woman.
If you're under
female,
6'2", swipe left.
Yeah.
Female 8.5. I don't know. I was just watching this grind, taking your grinder profile college humor thing.
Yeah.
Taking your grinder profile picture, and everyone had 8.5, and then it was cut or uncut, and it didn't matter who people and he's like, is that the new thing? Is everyone writing 8.5?
Oh.
Oh
It was
no.
funny. It was pretty funny. And then it ended with him taking his own profile picture, posting male 8.57. Huh. It was funny.
But if seeing no one, then would clip the clock over.
I'm not bugging you, am I?
Oh, no. As you may have seen, the Conclave have increased its security measures. But me talking to you for a while will not interrupt anything.
We could walk and talk.
I would be all for it.
Alright, I think the outdoors is doing me some good. I haven't seen much of it the last 2 weeks or so.
You do look a little pale. It'll do you some good. What brings you to Precinct 3?
Oh, I stopped by my mother's food cart.
Ah, of
And
course.
then I thought I'd just walk around and maybe get my head right.
Is something making your head not right?
Well, with the death of Jace, the Living Guildpact, and all the uncertainty that brings, I've just felt a real pressure to succeed recently, I suppose.
Why? Why has the death of him and the triggering of terrible chaotic events done that?
I think anytime I feel uncertain, I push myself so that I can do more, be more, see more.
Hey, Seymour.
Shut up, Seagull.
Skaha!
Understandable. It puts the mind to work and makes you think about other things than the terribleness that grips us.
Yeah, exactly. But there's only so much of, paperwork you can do before you start to melt down.
Never done it. Wouldn't know, but I'll take your word for it. At least the relatively peaceful areas around here may do you good.
Sometimes don't understand how you all manage without the wonders of technology.
We managed before, so did Isid. Everyone came from somewhere there was no technology. And continue to live with or without. It's quite easy.
Well, you make it look easy.
It's taken a while. It's ingrained in our culture, our lives. We don't much think about it, and It really is a lot simpler.
And you're not worried about the other guilds trying to take that simplicity away from you.
They will always try. But at the same time, it's not like the Conclave are not trying to press their own ideas onto others. I am not afraid, no. I just hope that it will not come to pass, since I know the people of Celestia will react violently.
I really hope that doesn't happen. I think there's room in this large world for people who like technology and people who can do without it. I thought we were doing fine.
Of course. There's always room, well, for the most part, there is room for the vast majority. As long as they are willing to let live and do not interfere where their interference is not needed, nor is fueled by greed, anger, and so on, then Ravnica could become a better place.
Are you going to the meeting at the Chamber of the Guildpact tomorrow?
I am, yes. Mostly we go to listen.
Yeah, I'm stuck being a scribe for the event.
Well, I'm stuck being a centaur looking pretty while being on guard duty.
Well, I'll feel a little safer there knowing your ranger skills are at the ready.
Well, thank you, but at the same time, I don't think it would be terribly safe anyway. There's always going to be someone, something that goes wrong.
And how? I think the Azorius is trying to find a solution that doesn't exist. Like trying to mix oil and water.
Currently, a few are trying to find, well, at least as you say, the Azorius is. But they can't. They won't. No one else really is. Everyone just try to find the answer for themselves for the most part.
Well, I'm sure some people will thrive in the anarchy.
Of course. Our good friendly neighbors, the Gruuls, probably has a lot of fun together with what we've already seen of the Raktas.
Yeah, that was quite a sight the other day.
Quite. And they do reinforce the fact that there is not room for everyone.
Yeah.
What are your own thoughts on that? Do you truly believe that everyone, with or without the guild pact, can live in peace, really?
I think we can live. I don't know about in peace. I'm worried that with the loss of the Living Guildpact, the conceit that we all had that we wanted to all live together is gone.
I still believe there are some who would want to within each guild, but obviously those who rule the guilds probably are not all of the same thought.
Yeah. I might have to borrow some of your optimism to make it through that meeting.
You're more than welcome to. The optimism is more of a... well, it's probably hopeless optimism at this point. But I'm sure that at least some may come out of this well. And I hope others may not.
That's fair.
Because by the seam of it, there are those who would wish to condemn millions of souls for a bit of currency. We could do without those.
You mean the Orzhov?
Well, not only, and not all Orzhov. But certainly some.
Kalista might be right. It might have been someone as rich as the Orzhov called the hit on Jace Beleren.
May very well be. And unluckily, there are those who are quite willing to do the job, as long as they gain themselves and the rest of the world can burn.
Yeah. But he was the Living Guildpact, and no one lives forever. This day was going to come one day.
Yes, but if he was going to live until the time where he was going to die of old age, measures could have been put in place. But
Yeah.
now, when he's just outright killed, well, I think the situation speaks for itself.
Yeah. Maybe Ravnica's just run out of contingencies.
Then hopefully, someone can find a new solution. It may not be the same as the one we had before, or the one before that. But a plan will come up, I'm sure.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right. It's just a matter of who makes the plan and who goes through with it. There are the worst outcomes and the better.
I think I'm gonna get some rest before tomorrow.
Please, you look like you could need it.
Take care on the rest of your watch, your patrol.
Oh, I will. But think and do remember that before the meeting tomorrow, a little walk would do you good.
Yeah. Okay.
And get something to eat. Your mother do make quite lovely food.
Yeah. She forced a muffin down my throat practically.
I ran before the carrot cake could arrive.
I'm not going to lie. You probably needed it.
Maybe.
Get another one tomorrow.
Okay. I won't collapse on anyone's watch.
It would be quite bad if you collapsed as the scribe at the meeting.
Yeah, I'd be chewed out pretty harshly.
Very harshly. So a muffin a day keeps disaster away.
Okay.
But do take care now. It was nice speaking to you.
Yeah. You set me a little more at ease.
Well, I'm glad I could be of some help.
And as we leave Talon to his patrol, and Mirai makes her way back away from the stinging rays of the sun. Callista, does Azrael ever catch up to you?
I don't know. Do you think she can?
I mean,
She can't bonus action dash.
Are you running like a crazy person with your hands waving through Orzova, or?
I mean, kind of. Like, I feel like she would. Like, that's... She's just been talking about going crazy and doesn't know if anything she hears is real and has to confirm every single thing she sees or hears. And that's freaking her out. And then on top of that, there's gargoyles moving in the room, like...
Yeah, I'm gonna say Azrael can find you. I mean, you were running like a crazy person, waving your hands up in the air. It's gonna be pretty easy to track you down.
Yep, I agree.
So, Azrael, you do manage to catch Callista eventually.
Good. I will literally just, like, probably very much out of breath. Because would this have been middle of the day or, like, in the earlier morning?
Middle of the day.
Okay.
Like lunchtime.
I wouldn't be super tired, but I would still not have slept yet. So, very much when she finally catches up to Callista, it's just kind of like, please stop running. What is wrong?
There was something in there and it moved.
Why didn't you just say that?
I don't know, I panicked.
Well, clearly I can tell, considering we just ran for almost fucking 10 minutes.
It was really scary. It was one of the gargoyles.
What? You saw a gargoyle? In the room?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say that?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. It could have heard everything we were talking about. It's not good.
It's probably not real anyway.
Or it could have very much have been real. It's not like it's unnatural for gargoyles to be in Orzova.
It's not unnatural for people to be walking down in the street either, but
Calista, just because it... Listen, I'm not going to judge you or think you're crazy if you tell me you see something that I can't see. But you need to tell me when you see things.
okay.
Okay? And preferably not running around screaming in a public setting like this. It doesn't really help. Again, I'm not mad. Just... I'm very tired, and that was a lot of running. Very
Sorry.
fast. It's fine. It's
I'm
fine.
fast.
You are very fast. Are you alright now?
I don't know.
Have you... What about going to see a doctor? Or someone?
I guess I probably should. But if they couldn't fix my mom, then they're probably not gonna fix me either.
Or they can, because you're not... It is better to have a little bit of hope.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess I don't know. See you never.
Do you want to go to a party with me?
What kind of party?
An engagement party.
Depends. Who's it for?
My sister.
Do you like your sister?
It's a very long hesitation before Asa just nods a little. I like my family.
But I asked about your sister.
There is a sordid history with my sister.
Then yes, I want to go.
Okay. I should have known that was going to be that easy. You cannot do anything bad to
I
her.
won't
Okay.
do anything bad to her.
Thank you.
You're
Or
welcome.
ruin the party in any way.
I'm not going to ruin the party. I've never ruined any party I've ever been to.
I know, I'm just saying.
Why are you so worried?
Because this is going to be at my family home. And it'll be the first time you meet my family.
If I could demonstrate the smile. It would be this one.
Oh no. Callista. I like my family.
I'm going to like your family so much too.
Alright. It's not for a little bit. Actually, what was the date on the invitation?
November.
So it won't be for a little bit. But I probably should take someone with me.
November. Is that like tab
Yeah.
number?
Mm-hmm.
And you are one of the only people I trust to be around them and also your love, so they will be happy about that. Be a little bit weird if I bring like a Boros or a Nizit with me.
That's true. I'm the only friend that you can trust.
It is very true.
It's not really true. I hope you don't really think that way.
No, I don't.
What?
I trust the others very much.
But not as much as me.
You are my first friend, yes.
I'm your first friend.
That I've had for a while, yeah.
Well, that's kind of sad, to be honest.
Well, is it
Yeah.
really? Well, I had co-workers. They were my friends, I guess. Listen, this is not the place we should end this conversation at. I have friends now. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where it matters.
Good.
So yeah, it's in.
The past is in the past. When you didn't have any friends and you're a big loser.
Yep, that's correct. Big loser.
But not anymore, so it's a happy ending.
Am I dying? Why is it ending?
It's a happy ending. To the story, the part of your life when you were friendless and lonely.
Oh. Okay. Yes, it's happy.
Okay. We should try with like a little more enthusiasm next time, but
Sorry.
it's just a
Yay,
small thing.
happy!
Azra smiles. And it looks like she's in pain when she does it.
Well, okay, so we'll work on enthusiasm someday. When you're not busy doing paperwork or sitting around. Maybe someday you come to visit me, so maybe someday you come to do your job. You know how easy it is to sneak away from people? And it's been really boring because there's nobody to like pick on or to scare. This has been really bad for me.
Where are the others? I thought
Oh,
you all
no.
were staying together.
Sometimes we do, not always. But they don't care if I run around and drink whatever I want to drink. It's just different when you're not around, that's all.
So, you're saying that you miss when I mother you.
No.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you said, did you miss when I mother you?
No, you don't understand what I said.
No, what you said was I miss when I torment people and I upset them by doing things that are bad, which is odd because that also just ties into the fact that that would mean that you miss me being around, caring about you, worrying about your safety,
No.
making sure you eat good
No.
things. Yeah, no, that's what it
No.
sounds like. You know what? I'm going to take it as that's what you
No.
said,
None of that
and
is true.
I think it's very true.
No.
It's very kind of you, Kalista, to miss me like you do.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And as we pan over the Ravnican skyline, the fading voice of Kalista and Azrael's bickering are like the last things we hear. And I guess I'll see you in like a couple of weeks, sure?
Yes.